Hello everyone, welcome back to Singapore Math Tutors. So today we're going to talk about finding highest common factor using the method prime factorization. Okay, so I understand in secondary one you probably learn how to do it, so you probably have a bit of idea what is highest common factor, but we'll do a little bit of recap here. Okay, so um the highest common factor of two or more numbers, okay, remember it can be two or more numbers, is the largest number that is a factor of all the given number. Okay, so it's the biggest number, okay, that is a factor of like all the numbers that you have to find the common factor from. Okay, so maybe let's just recap on how to find the highest common factor of 16 and 24 using the division method. Okay, so you'll probably remember this. So 16 and 24, right? We divide it by say 2. Okay, 8 and 12 divide 2 again, get 4 and 6, 2 again, and then 2 and 3. So you realize that at this point you can't divide anymore, so you're left with 2, 2, 2. Yeah, so therefore the highest common factor, okay, is 2 times 2 times 2, which gives you 8. So this is the largest number that is a factor of this 2. There's a common factor of this 2. So 16 and 24 has this highest common factor 8. Okay, so basically 16 can divide by 8. Okay, and 24 can be divided by 8, and that's the largest number that can be divided by this 2. Okay, so and there's another case where there are more than two numbers where you have to find the highest common factor from. So this is the other question, the next question, where you have to find the highest common factor of these three numbers. So you use the same method again. So 8, 16, 24. So we divide until we simply cannot divide anymore. Okay, so maybe I'll do 4 instead. So 2, 4 and 6. Okay, and divide by 2 again. 2, 2 and 3. Sorry, 1, 2 and 3. So highest common factor is 4 times 2, which gives us 8. Okay, so there's obviously another method to do this as well. Okay, so maybe you recall you have done this method before. Basically you list down all the factors. Okay, say 16. So 1, 2, 4, 8, and 16. They're all factors of 16, correct? And then you list down all the factors of 24. So let's do it here. 1, 2, 3 is also a factor. 4, 6, 8, 12, and 24. So what's the highest one? The highest one that is common between them is 8, correct? So this is probably another method, but it's very tedious if you have like a very big number where you have to find the highest common factor from. So I wouldn't advise doing that. Okay, so that's another method. So here I will show you how to do it by the prime factorization method. Okay, so remember in episode 1 we did prime factorization. So we did the prime factorization of 12, right, where we break 12 down to its prime factor here, correct? So what we do, we'll do similarly again. Okay, 16, we will break it down to its prime factors So we have 2 times 8, right? 2 times 8 can be broken down to 4 times 2, okay? Then 4 can be broken down to 2 times 2. So we have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 from 4, okay? And then times 2. Okay, so you realize that you have there's one additional 2. Okay, so you realize that you have 2 to the power of 4, right? But maybe you don't have to go through such drastic matters because at this stage, I hope that everyone is very sensitive to numbers, like square numbers especially. So 2 square is 4. You know that 3 square is 9. 4 square is 16. So not only that, maybe get yourself used to like 2 cube is 8. 2 to the power of 4 is 16. All this, be a little bit more sensitive. So maybe once you see 16, immediately in your mind, you go, okay, it's 2 to the power of 4. So that's it. That's the prime factorization done for 16. Okay, so let's do for 24. So 24 is, we can do 2 times 12. All right. And then 2 times 6 times 2 if you want to, or you can just simply put 4 times 3, right? And then since 4 is 2 times 2, so we have 2 cubed. Okay, so I just shorten our whole process here, and then times 3. So the question here is that we are looking for the highest common factor between these two numbers. So what is the highest common factor? So let's look for common factor first. So common factors are 2, 2, right? 3, nope, right? So we want to look for the highest one. So the highest one, the only possible highest one is 2 to the power 3, correct? Because 2 to the power of 3 is, here, correct? And then here we have 2 to the power of 3, right? But we don't have 2 to the power of 4 on this side, right? We don't have 2 to the power of 4 on this side here. So obviously we cannot consider 2 to the power of 4 as our highest common factor. So therefore the answer is 2 to the power of 3. So 2 to the power of 3 is 8, which essentially is the same answer as what we got here just now. So it's just another different method, but it is a shorter method if the number is really big. So for this question, as you can see here, the number is really big, right? It's 198 and 840. You won't be expected to do the division method because yes, it is possible, but it's very tedious, okay? I would recommend that. And also, the syllabus states that finding it by this method, it is there for a reason. They want you to use this method to find the highest common factor and not by division method or even stating out the factors because it is very, very tedious. Okay, so recall we did on episode 1 840. So 840, we found the prime factors for 840 here, right? So we did all this and then we got this. So we broke it down to the prime factors for 840. So yes, good. But then we need to do it for 198 here. Okay. So in order to do that, let's just 98. So usually for me, I will just start with 2 times. So if you don't want to do mental calculation, you don't have to just type in the calculator 198 divided by 2, which will give you 99, or it's quite simple division. You can do it mentally. Okay. I'll advise students to always use mental calculation before using the calculator if it's like a reasonable number. Okay, because in doing by doing this way, you'll be very sensitive to numbers. So like whenever you see numbers like 2 to the power 4, it's 16, that kind of thing, you're just sensitive to it. You know this is a prime number. And by the time when you go to like secondary 4, you'll be very sensitive to numbers, to a point where like a lot of questions you save a lot of time by not using a calculator. So I think it's good. Okay, because nowadays a lot of students are very dependent on calculators, which is not very good, because it really takes out a lot of time trying to punch in, say like 198 divided by 2. It takes time, so maybe not. Okay, so obviously 99, you have 9 times 11, or you can do 3 times 33, or whichever you're more comfortable with. Okay, so 11 is a prime already. We're not going to touch that. So 9, we can still break it down to. So if you know 9 is obviously 3 square. So just leave it as that. 2 times 11. So let's see what's common between them. What are the common factors first? 2 and 3. 2 and 3, right? Obviously not 5, 7, and 11. They are not common at all. Okay, so you want to find the highest common factor. Okay, so we know 2 and 3, they are common factors, but what is the highest one? So let's compare. Okay, 2 and 2 cube, right? So obviously the highest common one is 2. You can't go up higher to 2 square because they are not common already. Okay, then we have 3 square and 3. So obviously you can't choose 3 square, because it's not common, because here you only have 3. You don't have 3 square here. So the highest one that is possible is 3. Okay, so 2 times 3 is 6. So that's the highest common factor. Okay, so another very tricky question that your teacher will ask is, what is the greatest integer that will divide both 198 and 840? Okay, essentially this question is just asking you to find HCF. Okay, is a trick question. They just rephrase it. Okay, so a lot of students, they're so used to seeing find HCF. Okay, they when like your teacher rephrased the question, you kind of forgot how to do it, so you get stuck. Okay, and then after that we'll maybe move on to like word problems questions for that uses HCF. So that's going to be more confusing as well. So but keep in mind, okay, that HCF is the greatest common integer that will divide both numbers or 2 or more numbers. Okay, so I'll end episode 2 here, and then in episode 3 we'll do lowest common multiple. Okay, we'll find lowest common multiple using prime factorization. Okay, so see you. Bye.